Hello guys, welcome to I guess this is like the second alpha build of my game. It's also going to serve as like a tutorial video, but I just kind of want to show off my game and all the recent progress we've made, or I've made, and you know, it's got a lot going on, so I think it's pretty cool. And also I think it does need like a little bit of a tutorial because it can be kind of hard to know what to do. So I'm going to go ahead and just start a new world and show you guys everything. So we spawn in here for now. The world loads in, takes about, I don't know, 1 or 2 seconds. And if we press WASD, we can move around. We got a cursor in the middle of our screen. And we're playing as a little robot named Echo. Now if I press F3, it puts me in the third person mode. And you can, if you hold down the middle mouse button, you can click around and rotate. So if you want to, like, you know, play the game from third person mode, just press F3 and you'll be able to run around. Now Echo is a pretty simple robot. It's got a few features. We'll go more into depth about them later, but let's just talk about the world for a second actually. So this place, I call it the construct, and it might change with feature updates. We'll get new biomes and stuff, and you know, it'll change, but as of right now it's about 1,000 kilometers by 1,000 kilometers. Now, the goal for this build of the game, like the ultimate goal, is to see if you can get to the edge of the world. I think it is possible, albeit very difficult. This right here is a computer that controls something we call the inventor. I'll turn that on in a second. Basically, we're in a invention lab. If you ever play the game like Kerbal Space Program, you kind of know what's going on a little bit, but I'll show you that. So if I press R, it's going to take me to a menu where I can access some UI. If I go down here to the lower right hand corner, this pop-up menu will show up. So if you press D, it's got a self-destruct option. Don't want to do that yet. If you press V, it gets to the comp switcher, which is what we're going to use for switching between all the sorts of vessels we make. So I'm going to click on the inventor, and that's going to put me into the inventor computer. So that turns on the inventor, turns off my little Echo robot, and if I press move and WASD, I can move around the little invention platform. Now, I can't leave the invention platform, but this will work fine for our purposes here today. So in this game, you can make a lot of things. Oh, and let me just tell you, if you want to like move the camera around, just middle click the mouse scroll wheel and drag. You'll be able to look around. But in this game, you can build, you know, a lot of different things. It's mostly rovers and factories for now. So let me show you how to build a rover real quick. I think we'll just make a simple one, but you can make quite complex ones. So go to categories here, select your part, drop it down. Now if I press right click, it drops it in. If I press left click, it welds it to my part. So you can see the little sparks there. Let me show it a little bit better. See how it welds? You have to grab the base of the part to move the whole thing, like that. Now if you press W, A, S, or D, you can rotate it. You gotta turn off move, or else it'll move you too. So I might change the key bindings for that, but you know, this is the alpha build. Backspace deletes a part. And I think I'm gonna make the base of my rover a battery. So right click there. If you come down here, there's a physics button. If you press physics, it'll turn it off. So for example, put a battery right there, doesn't do anything, but turn it on, it falls. I'm gonna turn physics off, and I'm gonna go back to categories. I'm gonna go to movement to get some wheels. So see, how many wheels should we put on this thing? 4 maybe? Or maybe 6. I think I prefer to do 6. We'll do 6. We'll put... How do I want to do this? Put 2 wheels over here. As you can see, there's a lot of different ways you can rearrange your parts. Maybe we could do something like this. Make it a little bit wider. We'll put some more parts on it. The bigger base. We'll go 6 wheels. So just click, drag, and you can see it snaps to coordinates on the battery, which is kind of what you want. If you turn snap off, you can free place it. But if you turn snap on, you can put it in a it kind of locks to like the nearest whole number position. So you can see like it's, you know, nice and aligned. So that's pretty cool. You know, I'm gonna go ahead and see what we got here. We got a plate. Put it there. Let's go turn off snapping. Raise it up slightly. That'll do. And then let's just get the rover working. I'll show you the rest later. So in order to control the rover, you gotta go over here to control and pick up a player computer. Now, the way the player computer works is you have to program it with various features and it'll be able to output things. So if I come down here to program and I click on my player computer, you can see I have some letters for outputs and letters for inputs. And that will basically allow me to control my vehicle. Now, an important part of the game is programming logic chips. So each one of these logic chips has a function. So you got things like an adder, a distributor. Let me see. I'm gonna put an adder and a distributor down. And I'm gonna put 2 distributors for the various wheels on either side. You'll see why in a minute. Now, if I go to the second page on logic chips, you'll see I got this thing with the H and this thing with a it's supposed to be a robot, but the texture's not quite perfect yet. That's like an autopilot, so I'd like to have that in there. And we also got a day-night cycle going. If it gets too dark, come over here, find the light, plop it down. You can control the light too. So where should I put the light? I think I'll put it here. Now let's program our machine. So with all these chips, we should have enough parts to program a basic rover that can drive around. So I'm going to go ahead and click program. That sends us to the program menu, and I think I'll start with the wheels on this side. So the first thing I'll do is I'll pull up all the wheel menus, and then you just come up, click right here to drag and drop it, and then I'm going to connect them to a power source. Now all you got to do to connect the power is just click right here from the power node and drag it to the wheels power, or whichever circuit it is. Some circuits need power, some don't. But, you know, wheels, anything that moves or, you know, does anything fancy is probably going to require power. And I'm also going to hook up the player computer with a bigger power source. You can see this battery is quite large, this one's quite small. So, you know, want to get a bigger one. Now, let's see, we're doing the left side wheels. So I'm going to get this diffuser up. And diffusers distribute power. I'm going to distribute this one's power to speed, or signal to speed. Now, another thing we can do is use the H, or this logic chip called the vehicle controller, to actually control the direction of travel for this robot. So this thing is pretty smart. You give it forward, backward, left, and right inputs, and it tells you how to steer your vehicle. So if you go from left to data in, it'll give the left input, the left side wheels an input, and tell it how to drive around. Now, one important thing we'll need to do is actually turn on our wheels. So I'm going to go to this diffuser here, which we'll use to turn on every single wheel. I'm going to connect the first 3 options to toggle. Now you can't reuse connections. So each connection slot's going to take its own spot, you know. But now that we got those 3 wheels programmed, I'm adding these 3 wheels right here. And we'll just repeat the process again, and you'll be able to see it. You just click anywhere on the wheel, and it will go. So toggle, toggle, toggle. Oops, 6. Toggle. Connect the battery to the energy supply. I do think this game is a little bit, technical, but I think the building creativity, freedom, will appeal to a certain type of player who will really enjoy this type of game. So, yeah. I think some people, it won't be for everyone, but it'll be for some of us. It's definitely like the game for me. So just connecting the last of my pieces together here. See, data in. And if you connect to toggle right here, it basically treats the diffuser as a transistor, so it'll turn it off or on, preventing it from sending signals out. Now, we actually need to, we programmed the wheels correctly, but we need to send our inputs to the vehicle controller. So, if I go to my computer, it's got 3 boxes. If I click on one of the boxes, it should pull up the relevant menu. So we got mouse, the traditional keys, and the utility. So like W, A, and D. Now W, it's usually forward in games. S, backwards. A and D, left and right. Also, I'm going to connect my autopilot here just to save time. So just get rid of menus you don't need. If like multiple gadgets are on a certain part, it will connect them, or it will pull up all the menus. Well, for now at least. So I'm gonna get the autopilot hooked up to the vehicle controller as well. And then, we have this adder here. Now adders, they add or subtract numbers up to like 360 currently. Although we'll have options to set the min and max. So you can go negative 360 or positive 360. Now I'm going to do that for a heading, because the autopilot takes a heading in degrees, and it'll just basically lock you on that direction. Now we need to hook up our adder to something to add or subtract. So I'm going to hook up the left and right mouse buttons to that. So left, right. Alright, that's good. And then we need buttons to turn them on and off. So I'm going to grab our light. I'm going to hook it up to L. The lights don't need power. They're just aesthetic. They might be hooked up to power in the future, but as of right now, they're not. See, this is the diffuser that turns all the wheels on. I'm hooked up to space. Yeah, seems right. Hang on, that click. Sometimes it doesn't click, but it usually clicks. And then the autopilot, we'll hook the control for that up to left shift. So at this point in the game, I believe that's everything to make your rover run, right? Well, let's test it out. We can always go back. So we'll turn physics on, and it turns on automatically if you forget. I'm going to go down here to exit. And multi-module PC, that's the name of our rover before we named it. Click on it, and boom, we're loaded into the rover. Now let's see if it runs. So if I press space, you hear the wheels turn on. And then if I press W, I go forward. Oh, looks like we got backwards. DA, I go backwards. Yep, so we can drive the robot around. That's awesome. Let's see, where should we go? You know what? Let's actually add a... We'll switch back to the inventor. I want to also add a... an arm bot to it. So... just gonna go ahead and get the robot snapped back on here. Let's get some more lights down. Just in case, gets a little dark. The day-night cycle is like, it's 60 minutes in total, so a little bit long for a game. I might have like options to switch through it. Not currently focused on that right now. See, I think I'm gonna hook up a servo arm. We'll hook it up. Where should we hook it up? We'll hook it up here. So these are servos. Go ahead and turn snap off. They don't really have the they don't have the snap feature enabled for them yet. So that controls left-right movement. They basically rotate the red square. Let's see. Gotta be mindful about balancing the center of mass, is that right? Yeah, center of mass. You don't want it to be too top heavy or it'll flip over on you. And then I'll rotate this one, offset it. So kind of going to clip in, but the benefit of this is that it will log in a little bit better. Go back to structural. Get one of these guys welded on. And we have a little grabber unit you can use to pick things up. So, you got a little arm going. You know, I'm going to add a little spotlight to this too. That way you can kind of see better what you're trying to pick up. Awesome. Oh, and we should probably add some adders to this. So, one adder for each servo. They don't have to be placed on the servo, but it does make things a little bit more convenient. Just so you know which one goes to which. And I'm actually going to add a completely new computer to control this, because we can switch computers quite easily, so we'll put it there. Great. Let's program it. So this is the computer we're going to want to program. And we just click on the servo. I think we'll do E and Q, or hang on, we have to get the adder ready too. So you need the adder to get the angle. Like adders, they add and subtract numbers up into angles and stuff. So they're very useful for rotation. But there'll be other options. Angle. Good. And then, let's see, let's also get the utility up. I think we want space is usually pretty good. Turn everything on. So send the space to the toggle. And then, of course, we have to hook the servo up to the battery. So that's the first one done. E and Q. Just remember that. Second adder. Second servo here. Adder. Forgot we need player comp still open. We'll do A and D for this one. A, D, angle, space to toggle. Oh, come on, connect. Very finicky sometimes, the measurements. Power, turn that on. Yay. Now, what else we got? I just gotta do the final one, I believe. So we have one right here, servo, adder, W and S. So W to add, S to subtract. Data out to the angle, take the space from the utility. Oh wait, we need the diffuser for that, I just realized. Charge. Yeah, try not to make any mistakes, but you probably will. But you can edit them, so test out your machines before you get too far into the desert. See, logic chip, diffuser. Nice, okay. Let's hook this diffuser up. So space to turn everything on. So space, oh, that's an adder. Oops. Delete. You can put parts basically anywhere. There's like collision damage in this game, so you gotta be careful. Make sure that things don't get, broken too quickly or anything. Actually, you know what? I'm gonna hook the other battery up to this one. The bigger battery. There we go. There's a charge distributor object I have in development. It's not on yet, but alright, space to the diffuser. And then let's get the adders. 1, 2, 3. So let me think about this. Oh no, we want to turn the servos on. Let me get the servos. 1, 2. Come on, let me click you. 3. So toggle, toggle, toggle. You know, maybe this is a little bit monotonous. I mean, it's fun for me, but I can see how it wouldn't be for everyone. Alright, so space, toggle sled on. Awesome. And, you know, let's hook up the light to it too. Click on the light, L to toggle. Awesome, that should be a fully functioning arm robot. Let's see, let's test it out. Well, it looks like we need to go the other one. Alright. Space to turn everything on. Let's do E. Rotates fine. W. Rotates up. A and D. Rotate forward. And I just realized I forgot to program the grabber. So, we also need to program the grabber. I'll use the mouse button for that. So I think we'll use right to toggle the grabber. And connect it to power, of course. You know, one other thing I'm going to do real quick is I'm going to add a gun to this. Just to show it off. Because we do have guns. Over here in weapons. We got some big guns, we got some small guns. I think I'm going to put a small gun on. But that's one of the bigger guns. It's supposed to be kind of similar to a 25mm cannon. This would be like a howitzer. We'll do one of these. Tiny little guys. If you press shift, it controls the rotation a little bit better. Actually, you know, I won't do the gun for this one. Alright. Let's, let's add a few things for us to pick up. Just to show that it works. Put the wall here, maybe. Get a light down. I hope you're liking the video so far. I enjoy it. I think it's this one, right? Yeah. Awesome. Let's see if we could pick up one of these. Servos, they're a bit slow, but... and there'll probably be like a lot of quality of life things to make this a lot easier in the future. So I'm just rotating the arm onto this guy. Using the W and A and D keys to line up my servos. So that it gets close. They need to be within, I don't know, about a meter. So pretty close for this to work. And boom, picked it up. Haha. If I go back, as you can see, you can rotate it around. You can knock over this wall, maybe. Adios. Oof. Let me drop it. Goodbye. Don't need you. So, there'll be stuff in the world you'll need to go and pick up. Currently the world's pretty bare bones, just really a giant desert. But you can still make quite a few interesting vehicles. You can make your own things. There also are some conveyor belts you can use if you want to move stuff around. Let me pick this up. Let's see. Can we? Yep. Ooh, it's a bit heavy. I think one of the servos burned out. Yeah, 2 of the 3 servos burned out. It's too heavy of a load. Let me drop them. Oh, they're taking input now. Yeah. You gotta be careful not to overload the servos. Let me show you the factory a little bit. So another component of this game is there will be a lot of factory building. Currently, all we really got is these conveyor belts. Let's see. See if we can make anything cool out of this. Static. Get some lights up. You know what? Just realized I could do like a light pole maybe. So raise the light, you know. See a little bit better. Move these closer so it's clear. Yeah, night is a little bit long. I think I'll add more lights in here to make this a little brighter so you can work more easily. Let's turn physics on. See if we put a light on the conveyor, does it move? Yep. That's a good sign. Put battery on. Can move a battery. Oh, a little bit of a jump between conveyors. This game is still in alpha, keep in mind, so there's going to be issues, but I think it's actually in a pretty good state right now. Bigger battery. Moves along just fine. What else we got? No, I get stuck. Yeah, bigger batteries. Too big. Gets stuck. Too heavy. Gun canyon. Put some guns out. Logic chips. This will probably be what's mostly on your conveyor belts, is my guess. Yeah, there you go. Wheels. You got this big turret thing here. I like it a lot. You can put weapons on it. So yeah, pretty extensive. Conveyor belts, they have their own batteries, but they'll need charge in the long term. So be mindful of that when you build a factory. Oop. Whatever. Oh, let's go back to driving our vehicle around. We didn't actually show it driving too much, so I'll do that now. Press, let's see, S to go back. So this is the forward direction. This right here is forward. Whoop, careful. It's a little bit top heavy, so you gotta be, you know, pretty careful. Oh, there's a little Echo robot. See him. We can go back to him. Let me show you that. Press R to close that menu. And Echo has a light if you press L, turns it on. So you can see our little rover we built. You'll be able to like ride these things and go places, and there'll be like battles and stuff, and you know it's pretty cool, little thing. So let's see, this one right? That's controlling the arm. Need to add like naming robots ability. All right. Let's get out into the desert, see how far we can make it. We won't go too far, but yeah, there should be a moon somewhere. Doesn't look like it's visible from this angle. It's kind of hard to look up in third-person mode. But yeah, you can see our little rover going around. You can, like, you know, rotate it. And I recommend going with a lot of wheels in your designs just so they have a lot of thrust. Sometimes, if everything's too heavy, you'll feel underpowered. I'm gonna press was it left shift to activate that autopilot. So, not touching any controls right now. Press left shift, turns on the autopilot. The autopilot will find the heading it's supposed to be on, and then go to it. Looks like we were already pretty close to the heading. So, see. I don't think I hooked up the heading controls to the autopilot, actually. Let me turn off autopilot. I'll drive back. We'll go do that real quick. Just so you can see the autopilot's working. It locks the heading, but I think we forgot to, like... Did we hook up the heading control? left and right? Let's test it out. Alright, so we lock in that direction. Oh no, we did program it. It's moving slightly, right? I don't think we programmed it. Oh well. Ah, big hill coming up. Let's see if we make it. Generally, autopilot does pretty well. I mean, it's pretty flat terrain, so. This game, it's gonna be a mix of like engineering, survival, combat, open world, doing like engineering missions, you know. It's gonna be a whole litany of things you could do. But it's really an engineering game. So, you know, you start by building your robots or whatever to go do simple missions like pick up rocks in the desert or, you know, transport supplies between your factories, and then hit like a rock or something. Doesn't seem to be any heading control turned on for the autopilot. I guess I forgot to program that in yet. Like on the actual machine. It just locks in the direction it's going. Stop rotating like that. Yeah. Oh, and the wheels rotate the right direction. That was actually a pretty tricky thing to figure out, by the way. They did do it. Now, if you play Kerbal Space Program, you can see, locked on direction. If you play Kerbal Space Program, you know, like, the rovers took a long time to actually get good wheels. Those things were always glitching out, and, you know, programming them myself, I see why. Oh, if it's not clear, I made this game. I don't think I ever said that. This is a game I made. Like, it's really gotten serious over, like, the last 3 months of development, I'd say, but yeah, I've been working on it on and off for about a year. Just like little prototypes, just trying to learn Unity. This is actually the first game I ever made in Unity. I've just kind of been like upgrading it, you know, each month. So, only ever make one Unity project, guys. Never make more than one. I'm just programming Unity and C#. I did have to teach myself programming and all that stuff, but it's not too hard. I mean, especially with like AI these days, like it's so easy. You can make anything. Yeah, I mean, like this entire, like, the world itself, the rover assembly, the wheels, like all the logic computers, like that all came together in the last 3 months. So, like, you could do a lot in Unity these days. You could do a lot with AI programming. The art, not so much. It's all low poly. I think I'm gonna go with a low poly. Oop, almost got stuck. I'm gonna go with a low poly art style just because, one, I'm not really that good of an artist. Two, it's fast to make. It's also like fast to like run in the game. So we're probably up to, like, I don't know, 180 FPS at least right now. And you know, some of us do the low poly. That's another thing. This world's, it may not show up too well on your screen because it's pretty dark out right now, but this world is over 1,000 kilometers in any, you know, or 500 kilometers in any direction, right? And it can load the entire thing in. And it's not even like that memory intensive or CPU intensive or anything. For now, at least. We'll see what happens later. But yeah, the long-term vision for this game is for it just to be kind of like a mix of Kerbal Space Program meets Factorio. So, and there'll be like some, like, you know, faction dynamics, I presume. So, you'll probably start off pretty scrappy. You know, you'll go find parts in the desert. You'll start building machines, and then you'll go meet like factions, and you'll do stuff for them, like, you know, collect parts and move batteries and fight off bad guys, and you move up in the world, and it'll be open world, kind of like Kenshi, I guess. If you ever play Kenshi, it's like Kenshi's like an open world survival game. Pretty gritty game, but this game's a little bit more. Well, it's gonna be about robots, not people. So, More like Kenshi meets Wally meets Kerbal Space Program meets Factorio. That's the aspiration, at least. Ambitious, probably, but we're making good progress so far, so I'm pretty happy with it. If it's not on Steam by the time you're seeing this video, it'll probably be on Steam in the next couple of weeks. So, I think all that needs to happen is just Steam needs to approve it. I did submit a request to have it go on Steam, so hopefully they'll approve it soon. But by the time you see this video, my guess is that it'll probably be approved. You'll be able to play it, and hopefully there'll be some updates out. It'll be a little bit better. I'm gonna try to update it pretty frequently. So I tend to make a lot of progress, like month to month. Don't fall over. A lot more parts, add more UI. Start adding like factions and different biomes and missions, and you know, there'll be a whole host of things to do. But if there's nothing for you to do right now, I'd recommend you play around with it, have some fun. Try to get to the edge of the world. I'd be really impressed if you did that. I think it's probably possible. I don't want to try it. It would take forever. It would take a lot of attempts too. You'll probably encounter like some sort of like lag spike or something that like destroy your craft or something. But I think in theory, you should be able to get to the edge of the world. I mean, those mountains right there are pretty steep. You can't drive up them. I tried a while ago. So you'll need to think of some creative solutions. Let's assume you can even get to the mountains. I mean, like a craft like this probably has like a best 50 miles of range or 50 kilometers of range. Those mountains, they gotta be like at least 300 kilometers away. And that's for like the first mountain. And then that's like another 100 miles, the upper shelf, that plateau. I don't even know if you can see the mountains I'm talking about, like on the crater ridge. Like you're inside of a crater. You could go up about 1,000, or let's see, how tall is that? I think it's like 20 kilometer tall cliff right there. Might be higher, might be 50, I forget. We have to climb 50 kilometers, pretty steep, cross another 100 kilometers, and then climb another 50, or that's like 100 kilometers right there. And then, you know, there's actually a far tower. I don't know if you can see it too well, but there's actually a far tower in the back. So there's like a near tower you can climb. That might be fun. And then there's a far tower all the way out there. If you could climb the far tower, I'd be really impressed, because there's also like a huge valley drop next to the far tower. So that'd be like the ultimate accomplishment. I don't even know it's possible. Definitely won't be easy. But just see if you can even build a rover. I say this as if like, you know, this video might get watched by like 30 people. And then like, you know, 29 of them have clicked off by this point. Well, should probably end the video here. Thanks for watching the tutorial, and hope you're able to play my game. Hope you like it. I'll give you updates in the future. So this is an evolving project, and it should be free for a while. I might start charging for it eventually, but it's gonna be free for a while it tries to build up a base of support. So yeah, I think I'll just be quiet for the last couple parts of the video, just so you can see it, the rover go. Alright, well I got that clipping. So yeah, hope you enjoyed it. Play my game. Thanks for watching.